Hi, I'm Marcy Degman, the Aspiring Gardener. Today we're going to talk about growing Bartlett pears. Now, I've got a Bartlett pear here. It's a semi-dwarf tree, and one thing I have noticed over the other fruit trees that I've put in is that this is a really fast-growing tree. It's a semi-dwarf, so it's probably going to be 20 feet tall. It's already about half that. So, depending on the size that you buy, this one was probably about 5 feet tall, and within a year it's almost doubled. So you'll probably get fruit within 3 years from planting a Bartlett pear, but you have to have a pollinizer. And you have to find another pear that happens to bloom at the same time. So I've put in a Seckel pear, which is a good pollinizer for the Bartlett pear. So you always have to have two different varieties blooming at the same time or you won't get pears. So remember that fact, that's important. Outside of that, they're very easy to grow. There isn't a whole lot that you have to do. When you first plant it, you want to be very conscientious about watering. You don't want to fertilize things too much when you first plant them, but in the fall you want to take maybe a nice average dose of fertilizer and fertilize your tree. The pruning usually comes a little bit later, and the most important thing you want to remember, this one is growing kind of almost like a columnar tree, which it's not supposed to. So at some point when it branches out, it's going to get a little bit clustered. So what you always want to do is keep the center of your pear tree open and airy so the sun can get down inside and airflow. So that will resist disease, plus you'll have more fruit because each part of the tree that's going to bear fruit has to get sunshine. You want to have at least 6 or 8 hours a day of sunlight for good fruit set. And the only other thing you might want to do is when you do get fruit, if it's real heavy, you want to thin it so that it's not too heavy on the branches while it's young. Plus, it will also allow the other pears to grow larger. So if you want to grow a Bartlett pear, a summer pear, have a pollinizer, and the same is for fall pear trees. You always want another variety that blooms at the same time, so you'll have plenty of pollination from the bees and plenty of fruit. And that's how you'll have a lot of pears on your Bartlett pear tree.